Hey Run Junkies, I just finished up my first recovery week of the new plan, and I always look forward to recovery weeks until I'm actually in them. It's nice to have a full week of shorter and easier workouts, but I've also found that it's hard to motivate myself to get going, and I've also found myself a little more fatigued than my regular workouts from the week before. This week I had a lot of appointments and meetings that I had to kind of work around this week, so I had to get up really early to get my workouts in before all of that happened, and it was literally a rude awakening because I had kind of settled back into waiting until later in the morning to get my workout done. Now that February is in the books, and holy cow, where did that month go? I've put some projects to bed and taken on some new ones. I finally finished my photo book from Walt Disney World's Marathon Weekend. I mean, it's like pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. Between Dave's pictures, my pictures, all of the PhotoPass stuff, we ended up with about 1,000 pictures from which to choose. Now, of course, I didn't use all of them, but this is a big book. I use iPhoto, which has the feature to create books like this or calendars or prints, and I'm really excited to have a book like this to remember the trip by. Now, as you saw last week, I painted most of the upstairs, but I still have painting to do for March. And for those of you who don't know, one of my hobbies is quilting, and I finally, and I really do mean finally, finished one of my projects. Literally, I started this thing in 2007. I have been working on this project on and off for 10 years. It's finally done. So this was a fun project for me to work on. It is a Colorado themed quilt, so it's finally finished. The problem is I'm not exactly sure where it's gonna go because I don't have walls this big. Coming up, March has some big projects in it as well. I have more photo books to make. I have more painting to do. And yes, I have another UFO because as a quilter, you're kind of contractually obligated to have something always unfinished. I also just got my March training plan from Coach Christine, and here's how that works. I will first send her any scheduling conflicts, any trips coming up, or any races I might have planned in the calendar, and then she will come back with a 30-day workout calendar for me. So the plan that she sends me accommodates that schedule. For example, I like to take my rest days on Sunday. However, I do have a 5K coming up on a Sunday in a couple of weeks. So she just kind of shuffled everything around so it makes sense for my schedule and my training purposes. When I get her plan, which looks like this, I will take all of this information and manually enter it into Training Peaks. Now, it's not required that I do that. I could work from that sheet just fine, but it requires me to slow down and look very carefully at each workout so I can ask specific questions of Christine as I get closer. Otherwise, as far as recovery weeks go, there's not a whole lot to report. I did have a light speed day on Thursday, which was 4 miles easy plus 8 strides at the end, and those were really tough. Again, it's recovery week. I just chalk it up to that. My top speed though is getting faster, and my average paces are as well, according to Garmin. So I do think that improvements are coming. I'm shooting for 21 logged miles this week, and I've entered my local Moms Run This Town monthly challenge, which is to predict how many miles you're gonna get in, and I've predicted 100. So if you meet or exceed that goal by the end of the month, you're entered in for a prize. I don't know what the prize is, but you know, it's a good motivator. But of course, now that I've actually made that goal and made it public, Murphy's going to step in and do everything he can to keep me from that goal. So coming up in next week's update, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about what I'm planning for the 5K that will be happening on the 12th. I'm also trying to decide on a local proof of time half marathon or 10 miler for the Dopey Challenge. I thought I had one planned for the fall, but I do have a couple of other options. My question for you today is this: how do you feel about recovery weeks? Do you love them? Do you dread them? Please leave your thoughts and comments in the box below. Give me that thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for me today. Get out there, go find your awesome. We'll see you next time, and until then, happy running.